All right, Greg, we're live.
All right. Well, here we are. Greg Harrelson here with Abe Safa, and of course, joining the family of Real Geeks. As always, it's Tuesday, so it's that time where we're going to just kind of, come together and just brainstorm, mastermind, give you some information, and we're hoping at the same time that you will. Participate by putting something in the chat, asking questions, making comments. It always helps when we have that type of information. So, Abe, we're going to talk about where's the market headed. So, obviously, you and I have some thoughts. We may have agree on a lot of things. We may maybe have differing opinions on certain things, but I think this is a conversation that we need to have because we haven't brought this where's the market heading, what do we do now kind of conversation. So what are some of your thoughts on this particular subject? I know you're going to share a little bit of data, and I think that'll be helpful. So let's just start. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I mean, obviously the market's changed, right? We don't
Yes.
we don't need to dive too much into that. So, a recent Fannie Mae forecast just came out. I actually just read it, I think, last night or this morning, with their projected number of home sales for 2022 and then also for 2023. Okay, and I want to go ahead and share these numbers up here as we're talking about this. So let me go ahead and pop this up on the screen.
Okay.
So projected sales for 2022 are now down to 5.78 million homes. Now, be careful, please. That includes new construction. A lot of times you'll see a number that is just resales. I know NAR typically will post the resale number, but not the new construction number. So this has both. So 5.78 million homes are projected to sell for 2022. That's a 16% drop from last year. So that's pretty significant. I mean, assuming that, and again, I don't want to get into, well, nobody can make predictions correctly. Who knows what's going to happen? But most economists out there think that we're going to sell less homes this year than we did last year, and I agree with them. Now, is it going to be 16%, 18%, 12%? Nobody knows. Okay, but we need to plan as if it's going to be down somewhere in the range of 16% less homes sold compared to last year. Mm-hmm. So out of those, the resales are 5.14 million, and then the new construction is 632,000. That's 2022 projections.
Yes. So, okay. So we know that this is projections and this is Fannie Mae, which is not really in the business of making sales for the most part. So this is not skewed by, say, a Century 21, a Redfin, a Compass, an EXP, or a Coldwell Banker or a Remax. That every one of those brands have some sort of like skin in the game. This one there's not really as much skin in the game for them, so they're trying to build the most unbiased data. Of course, with that, we could all say we agree or disagree with the source, but that is a source that we look at. So besides that, we would probably be able to speculate, Abe, that there, at least right now, we know that there's less inventory still. Mm-hmm. We know that inventory showed signs of increasing, and then all of a sudden, we saw that inventory started flattening out again. What do you like? I think a lot of people were saying, oh, inventory is going to skyrocket. What do you think the reason is that it just kind of like flattened out a little bit?
Well, I think that's part of the forecast change. So I think these forecasts are getting lower and lower every single month that they come out. And I think a lot of it is a surprise of how much the market slowed down in number of transactions, but also coupled with how all of a sudden these last 8 weeks, inventory is not rising.
Yes.
So for the last 8 weeks, inventory all of a sudden flattened. We went from inventory was rising real quick, and then all of a sudden just flattened, right? So now we're like buyers are just kind of sitting on the sidelines thinking, okay, interest rates are too high. And now they're thinking, well, I can't find the right home anyway. And I think things are just kind of just muddy.
Yes.
I don't know what better word to use than just kind of it's unclear.
Yeah. It's kind of in the middle of where, like in some sports, like you're in a no man's zone.
Yeah.
It's like you're not supposed to be here. You're not. You're just like we're just at a place where, we know sales are slowing. We know pendings are down. We know website traffic has declined. We know these things, but prices haven't went down.
Right.
That's the confusing part. Now,
And
there's
new listings hitting the market is down.
Yes.
Right. So you would think sellers are thinking, man, the market's changing. Let me get ahead and cash out before it's too late. We're not seeing the new listings are down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, and I won't give an opinion on this, but I think one of the things that a lot of people are going to have to decide, number one, do you think that the market is slowed enough, the economy, do you think inflation is slowing enough that the interest rates won't continue to increase? Now, I understand the difference between the Fed's increasing the interest rate and the correlation to mortgage interest rates. It's not exactly the same. So when somebody says Fed's just raised the rates by 3/4, that does not mean that the local mortgage company is going to have a 3/4 increase. It doesn't work like that. But besides that debate and that conversation, the question that I have that you want to answer for yourself is like, knowing where inflation is, do you think that interest rates will increase as an attempt to slow the market down a little bit more in order to get a handle on inflation? Or do you think that there's already enough? I'm not asking you to post it. I'm not asking this is not a political conversation. I'm just wanting you to ask yourself, or do you think they'll raise it a little bit more to try to slow the economy down a little bit more, and therefore sales will go down and inventory will eventually increase? The reason why I'm asking you to ask yourself that question is because how you answer will determine what you should be doing next. If you think that, okay, inventory didn't go up like we thought it was, prices are still strong, I think it's going to be a great market, then you're probably going to proceed and navigate through the market a certain way. If you think, oh my gosh, this is going to be the next crash, then you're probably going to react to the market shift in a different way. The key is have an opinion for yourself, create a strategy based on your opinion, and take action on it. Most people fail in a shifting market because they don't have an opinion. Therefore, there's no need for a strategy, and there's nothing to take action on. It's a lack of action that causes a personal agent to go down, not the market itself. So I just wanted to kind of rant on that for a minute, Abe. So I know we wanted to, or did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great rant. Right.
Okay.
I mean, that's exactly what you need to do right now, especially in this kind of market. And let me add one more thing you need to do is you got to be flexible. You got to be fluid. So yes, you have an opinion, you formulate a plan, you take action. But then what you need to do is pay attention to the data because it's changing quickly, and then reevaluate on a regular basis. I would say no more than 30 days apart. Every 30 days, take a look at your plan, take a look at the market and see if you need to make any changes. And then you just go full force with the action. Yeah. At that point. But you got to be ready to make adjustments. I think you got to be fluid in this type of market.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I don't know what the interest rates are going to do. I mean, I personally feel like they're going to go up a little bit more before they start to go down. But those numbers that I showed you, let me show you what 2023 was. The projection for 2023 is to go down another 10%.
For what to go down 10%?
Number of sold homes sold in the U.S. Yeah. That number is predicted to be 5.18 million by 2023. So if you look at 2021, it was a total of 6.89 million. So if you look at 2021 and then the forecast for 2023, that's a 25% drop.
Yes. And so what would be if those projections were correct, big if, what would be the total drop percentage wise in a 2-year period of time?
25% from 2021, which was the peak in this conversation, to 2023, there'll be 25% drop in homes.
Yes. And so here's what's important to understand. If there's Is that safely, you could say there'd be 25% less real estate commissions made?
Yes.
Okay, got it. So like
Now,
just
and they also may be lower price commission checks too, because we don't know that, right? But
okay.
leave that
So
aside.
if the prices stay the same, it'd be
Right.
25%. But if that
Yes.
caused the prices to go down, then real estate commissions could go down. The amount, the income of real estate agents across the country statistically is projected to go down 25%.
Mhm.
I want everyone to understand this. It's because like the projections that are out there, believe them or not, says that the income will go down 25%. So let's everybody think about what 25% of your current income is and imagine going without it. If those projections were correct.
Mhm.
Okay? Abe and I are not claiming that that's going to happen or it's not going to happen. But the whole point is, where's the market headed? Nobody knows. My suggestion to every real estate agent, you answer the question for yourself, and whatever the answer is, reformulate a strategy on what your business needs to look like for the next 12 months and start executing today.
Yeah.
Because the projections say your income is going to go down by 25%. Now, the people, by the way, it won't go 25% down across the board because there'll be some agents that'll grow and they'll have a 20% increase. And then, but the income will actually not change. The available income in the industry, it'll probably be down 25% if that projection was correct. So where does the income come for those people that grow? Where does that income come from? It comes from the people that have no opinion on the market, therefore do not have a strategy and are not executing. So the income shifts from one category of an agent to a different category of an agent. That's what happens.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. So yeah, 25% less, roughly going to be 1.7 million less homes sold in 2023 compared to 2021. So if that were to happen, is your business prepared for that? Can you handle 25% drop? How about your personal life? Can you personally handle 25% less income coming into your household right now? That's the kind of things you want to be thinking about. And you said something that was spot on, because I know what's going to happen. Because you and I are thinking, I don't care what the market does. I'm in complete control of my destiny and my production. But if the overall housing market was a pizza pie, okay, that pizza pie is going to be 25% smaller. Now it's up to you how big of a slice you're going to go grab, right? That's what it comes down to. But the whole pizza pie is going to be roughly 25% smaller as an industry for everybody out there. So be prepared.
Yeah. So I haven't eaten lunch yet, Abe, and I think I'm making pizzas tonight. So you're speaking my love language right now. And so I just had this crazy visual, Abe. So I'm imagining this pizza. It's an extra large pizza. Is now going to shrink to, say, a medium-sized pizza, right? Or a large shrinks to a medium size. Here's what's key. Now, please, audience, I've been through multiple shifts, okay? So what ends up happening, which Abe is so spot on here, is the pie shifts before the number of people dipping into the pie shifts. The pie shifts, and then every agent starts like worrying. So they start scrapping, fighting, and competing aggressively for their piece of the pie, but there's less pie. And then it'll be survival of the fittest. The pie shrinks. The same amount of people are fighting after a smaller pie, and not everybody survives. Not everybody eats. Some of the people that were fighting for a piece of the pie then actually go out of business. Then there's fewer people after that smaller pie, but there ends up being more pie for those fewer people left standing.
Yeah.
That's how this works. It's how it always works.
So you know what
my
matters
suggestion
now?
is we need to actually start fighting the fight before the pie shrinks.
Yeah, so you know what matters now?
What?
Two things: skills and hunger.
Mm.
How skilled are you? Have you been doing what you're supposed to be doing in the last 2 years when we were just kind of coasting? And right now, how hungry are you? How
Yeah.
bad do you want it?
Yeah. And in your opinion, I have mine. Is there a lot of hungry agents out there right now?
There's some are getting hungry, but there's still some that kind of just bury their head in the sand.
Yeah. And hungry, I mean like hungry is not like are they literally worried about putting food on their table versus just the complacent agent?
Yeah, they want it.
Yeah, do they really want it? And I was just at Tony Robbins last week, and it was a fantastic event. And I've repeated, this will be the third time I've repeated it today, but these were the first two times I repeated it. It was just for my own company coaching. But I just want to say one thing is just within the first hour of Tony Robbins, he said this. He said, I think I texted you this, Abe, when I was at the event, and that was good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people, and strong people create great times. We are coming off of great times. And great times create weak people in the area of it creates complacency. Mm-hmm. So one of the reasons Abe and I are talking about this conversation right now is there's a lot of complacency, and we need to change our state of mind, and we need to change our routines and change our habits right now, because the complacent agent, which is in Tony Robbins' words, would be the weaker agent. The weaker agent will experience bad times. But we have time to get ahead of this. And if we will focus on protecting ourselves, growing our skills, executing a plan for lead generation and follow-up, if we will do this and be committed to it, we could actually go through a shift and experience a breakthrough in our personal production. It's a mindset. What to do now? Shift your state of mind. Start telling yourself a different story and start executing on different activities. Before we get off, because I know we're about ready to end here, let's go back, because we haven't even hardly started with our notes that we had, for this. And that was just like some of the things that will shift. Just let me kind of bring that to one's attention. That's already shifting. Lower traffic to websites, fewer showings on listings. There's the potential for more inventory and potential for possible higher rates. These are all highly potential, highly probable for where we're heading. But let's talk about some solutions here, because those are things that we don't control. We control none of those. The obstacles are uncontrollables. The solutions are controllables. So if we focus on the solutions, the controllables will be fine. And that is, get into the office earlier, following these good morning routines. I always say it. Know your market data. Know your market data. Be able to interpret the data for your buyers and sellers. You got to know the market data, and then you got to be able to have the skill sets to talk to the consumer, because as the market softens, they have more questions. They feel uncertainty, and you can actually give them certainty by empowering them with the information. But you've got to see the information, and you've got to be able to interpret the information. What do you do now? You rewrite your business plan. Whatever your business plan looks like, rewrite it today. If you rewrote it a month ago, I'm telling you, that business plan doesn't likely work. Rewrite it and reevaluate every 30 days. So we should be writing a 12-month business plan that's reevaluated and adjusted every 30 days. A 12-month business plan that's reevaluated and adjusted every 30 days. What else, Abe? Anything else? Any final words?
Yeah, I think the one thing that we left out was just your like everything that we mentioned today. Think about Does it scare you or does it excite you? Okay, what's your attitude towards the market right now? Are you fearful? Do you see it as a threat or do you see it as an opportunity? Right? Because that's not going to change the environment. The environment's going to be what the environment is. Okay, but with the attitude that you bring to this environment is going to determine what production you do.
Mm.
Okay, so my advice would be is look at this as an opportunity.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yeah. A lot. There will be a good many top producers that will have their breakthrough because of this shift. This shift, this shift is the opportunity. It's much easier. Takes a lot of discipline. Takes a positive mindset, but it's a lot easier to capture market share in a dipping market than it is a hot market. A lot easier. And go ahead, Abe.
You just reminded me of something. I crunched some numbers a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at the inventory right now in our personal market right now in our market, and the to break into the top 1% of listing agents in our market right now, all you need is 10 listings.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I remember you told me.
Like
You
so,
sent me a
if you're a new agent that's hungry, if you're a new agent and want to break through and get to that top 1%, this is the time. This is the time to break through because a lot of those other agents that are up top probably got a little bit comfortable, got a little bit complacent. And now the barrier to get to that top 1% is so low because there's no inventory out there in the market. Like I said, in our market, it's only 10 listings right now, puts you in the top 1% in our market. And I'm sure it's probably pretty comparable in your market.
Yeah. All right, Abe. Well, if anybody has any questions, comments, put them in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for listening live. And for those of you that are going to listen to this on some sort of delay, if you also put some things into the chat, we get notifications on that. So we'll communicate with you. If any of you are looking for some additional coaching, especially around Real Geeks, we have a program called Real Geeks Mastery. You could private message us. We'll tell you a little bit more. We do deep dives in the Real Geeks, ecosystem. But we also influence you in other areas outside of Real Geeks. But it is for Real Geeks users. Because we do deep dives within the ecosystem, the technology itself. Abe, thank you so much. We'll do this again next week.
Enjoy the Greg. Thank you all for watching.
Bye-bye.